He looked at me and said, "No one goes from Mariupol." We heard every day during 3-4 months, we heard the screams, 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 and the whole city knew what's going on, that they got Ukrainian prisoners there. Some of them said us that we were eating children even though that we were drinking blood. One of my friends got claustrophobic. They just tied his hands, legs, and put this back on his head, and thanks God I survived. Everything is perfect for me. But in captivity, every day I thought like, why I didn't shoot myself?
Hello, everyone. I'm Rob Lee. I'm a senior fellow at the Foreign Policy Research Institute's Eurasia program, and I have Yevgenii Malik with me right now. I'm going to do a podcast about his experiences. Yevgenii was a Marine in the 36th Marine Brigade. He fought in Mariupol at the beginning of the war. He then spent 2.5 years in captivity, and plan on doing probably 2 separate podcasts on his story. And this one is going to mostly focus on his time in captivity. I think it's quite timely because there's still many Ukrainian soldiers who are in captivity right now. So his story about how he was treated is quite important. It's also quite important given the talk about negotiations and about the next step of this war, about what it's like to be in Russian captivity, what it means to be under Russian occupation. I think it's a quite important kind of story to be told about kind of what the situation is right now and what it means to many Ukrainians. And it's great to have a Ukrainian who's there to explain this in detail. So Yevgenii, could you introduce yourself and maybe tell us a little about what you did in the war and when you joined?
Yeah, thank you, Rob. So my name is Yevgenii. I'm 32 years old. I joined to Ukrainian army in the year 2018 in July. And since that time, I served in 1st Separate Battalion of 36th Marine Brigade till the very end. I met this war in Mariupol direction, 21st February the year 2022. And yes, I got to the captivity in middle of April. And spent there 2.5 years. I came back to Ukraine in 14th September, the year 2024. And since that time, I got the rehabilitation half a year because the injuries were really hard, and half a year is the minimal time you need to spend for yourself to recover your health, at least for the minimal level.
We're going to do 2 different podcasts, one about the battle and one about captivity. We're going to talk about captivity right now. So the situation, to begin with, on April 14th is the day your unit surrendered.
Yes,
And to give background, you were a sergeant, so you were a squad leader when the war began. But by this time of the battle, you had about 90 people under your commands.
That was at the very end because I got the position I was responsible for. That was a position called Charlie on factory or aglo factory. So I was there since 16 March the year 2022. That position we got 30 people. 30 guys, Marines, and soldiers from 56th Infantry Brigade, and 3 guys from National Guard of Ukraine, the 9th Regiment from Zaporozhian city. But due to the commands and due to the situation, our brigade surrendered in 12th April. Battalion surrendered in 13th April, and but not all people wanted to surrender to get to the captivity. So they made some. They tried to escape by themselves, cause we got an order that everyone is free to do what he think is more suitable for him. The majority tried to surrender because before this, on 9th April 2022, we got we tried to break the string in Mariupol, and with all our brigade, we tried to get to our troops in Zaporozhye, but we failed and we got plenty casualties. I think approximately 400 guys were killed in the battle during the night, and that's why I stayed with my guys on my position. And during this couple of days, soldiers who tried to escape and they defeated in it, they came back, all of them. They were coming back to the factory, and they found the only position which exists at that time. That was my position. That's why all these people, they were coming to our position because, we controlled that small part of territory, approximately 2 square kilometers. And at the end, we got 90 people. And yes, by due to the papers, due to the order, I was the main, I was the commander of the position, but there were plenty of officers. We got even a commander of our airborne company, of our battalion there. So that was like that. Yes, I was a squad leader, sergeant, and still I am.
So yeah, so to give the context, at this point, President Zelensky had already signed an order for people in Mariupol to surrender, or he said that if you need to protect lives, you're allowed to surrender. Wasn't that right?
The order was from Zelensky, as we know for sure. The order was from Zelensky and Zaluzhny to make everything is possible to save the squad, to save soldiers. So each commander did as he thought is better for the squad. Someone decided to give up, to surrender. Someone decided to try to get to our troops. I know the whole company from our battalion which managed, and they came back to Ukraine. That was, I think, some kind of heroical part of this war, because there was approximately 180 kilometers zone around the Mariupol, which was controlled by Russians totally, and the company with the battles, they managed to get to Zaporizhia, and they got, I think, 60 people, and there was 2 officers who command them, the commander of platoon of 1st company and commander of 1st company of our 1st separate battalion, and they managed to get to Zaporizhia, and that is something unbelievable, because I didn't believe that is possible. But we have to understand that a lot of our guys who tried to do this, they didn't manage, and they are dead.
And to give you context, so your brigade was holding the front line east of Mariupol when the war began. You fell back, and we'll cover this in the other podcast. You fell back. Your 36th Marine Brigade fell back to the Ilyich plant in northwest Mariupol.
And then, just north, because the Mariupol was some kind of like triangle, and we were on the top of it. So that was north part of Mariupol. Even though city wasn't there, the city was the 30% of territory, and 60% was factories and all of this. So we were on factory, the northest part of the city, of the whole territory.
And so 36th Marine Brigade was in the Ilyich factory. Azov Brigade was in the Azovstal factory to the south. And then as the battle progressed, the Russians cut off those 2 factories between themselves. And then at this point, I think the city had been encircled since early March. So resupply, logistics, all these things had become an issue, and ammunition had become quite a big issue too. And as you're saying, after President Zelensky gave the order to prioritize kind of saving lives, your brigade kind of command post, I think, was broke apart, right? And then the battalion and then it was based at you, where you were not getting orders from anyone above you, and that's the time when you started to you negotiated with Russian forces to surrender.
The situation was like this Azovstal factory was on the south of the city, and our factory Ilicha was on the north. And between them there was a city. The city was held by Russians in the middle of March.
Right.
Well, second part of March maximum. 26th March, we didn't go to the city at all because that was the one-way ticket. So we were cut even from Azov regiment. About the ammunition and provision from the big land, there was no even any talk because we didn't have it from the very beginning. We were surrounded on the 3rd March. We were totally surrounded.
Right.
And yes, as I said, on 11th April, we got command, the last command from our officers that's it, that the majority want to surrender just to save people, but who doesn't want to may do any shift in any decision they like. We tried. We didn't make anything fast. We wanted to just to see what is going on and what kind of chance do we have. We've seen attempts of our Marines to give up to Russians, just Russian soldiers. That there were no officers there. There were no one, and that were soldiers with a weapon, PKM machine gun, and they tried to kill the Marines, our Marines, and we understood that we will not do this. On the 13th of April, at the very morning, we catch a Russian soldier, and because I knew that battalion and brigade doesn't exist anymore, so we made a decision together with all our troops on this position, because I couldn't decide like one for all 95 people. That is impossible. That is silly. So when I got we got the negotiations with the Russians, there was colonel. He said that he is a colonel of security service of Donetsk Republic. So I came back and said that we got a chance to surround, to give up them, and they won't do anything with us, because their interest is that to stop this fighting. Because if they will, there were 100 guys from our side, and 400 guys from their side.
Right.
And for them, well, yes, sure, they would destroy us, for sure, because they got everything. They got planes, they got tanks, they got big artillery systems, etc. So we got just AK-74, RPG, and PKM. So that they won't even try to assault us. They would just bomb us. But I rely on that. That was a high officer of Russian side, and his interest is to bring us to his command and say, look, I got almost 100 captivities. So I rely on this, and yes, they didn't do anything with us. We just surrender and came to further locations.
And so, in the context, there's a Russian soldier you captured the day prior on April 13th. And he has cell phone, and you asked him to call his commander.
Yes,
and then you talked to his commander on the phone.
The situation was like, that was 19-year-old guy. He came by a white civil car, Niva, that small Jeep, civilian Jeep. And there were two soldiers. There was a little fight, little assault operation. One of them just ran away, escape, and this one we captured. He gave up to
Mhm.
us, and when I saw him, I said like, "What? How did you get here?" And he said, "My commander said that no, there is no one here." Well, yeah, of course, the commander wanted just to he wanted this guy to get in our hands because he understood that in these 2 square kilometers there are plenty of Marines because that was the only position, the only sector they did not control in the whole factory.
Right.
So that was pretty much dangerous to go there with the platoon, for example, because
Mhm.
probably we could kill all of them. So he just sent this guy. He said that, look, just take that position. There is no one there. And well, I think he was crying so much. Um, and at that time, his wife, mm, I don't know, well, if woman loves you, probably she can feel something. She wrote a message to him, and I've seen that his cell phone works.
Mhm.
And first of all, we said like, call to your wife and say that you're okay, everything is cool, like you are with your guys, with your friends, and just to make her calm.
Mhm.
That was his first call. The second call was from his commander. He
Mhm.
called him and he was asking like, "Where are you?" That was my first negotiations. No one touched me.
Mhm.
I didn't know how to do this, so we decided to make a meeting on the bridge. Everyone knew like where is this bridge. A month ago, they tried to assault our position in that sector,
Mhm.
so they really knew they got plenty casualties there, more than 30 people. So they knew where this bridge, and I got me and four or five guys with me, and this colonel came with a tank T-72 and approximately 50 uh, this special force Sobor.
Mhm.
And yes, we got the negotiations, and I wanted to. My opinion was
Mhm.
that because I knew at that time that they got plenty, they got more than 10,000 soldiers in Hostomel, surrounded. And I said to him, like, look, I can make a call and let's just make an exchange today on the front line. You just take us 100 guys and bring us back. You will got 300 or 400 your soldiers, Russian soldiers, for us.
Mhm.
I just let me make a call. He looked at me and said, "No one goes from Mariupol. Just if we were in Kherson or Kharkov, we could do this. But Mariupol," he said, "no."
Mhm.
And I didn't know why. Well, in the nearest future, I discovered why. Well, we will speak about it.
So you meet up with this colonel, you negotiate with him,
Yes,
and you brought up 5 guys to provide cover for you.
yes,
And then after you talked, you went back to the group. And also the context here is that before this, your brigade tried to break out one time. They took heavy casualties doing so. Um, and then one of the battalions had already surrendered. At this point, the battalion there's no battalion staff. That doesn't
no,
exist anymore.
there were
There's
no
no brigade
company
staff.
staff,
All right, so
no one.
you're on your own. You
Yes,
have a group of about 90 people with you, and you had 90 with you because these are guys who tried to escape, and
and
then
they
they
failed.
couldn't make it out, and
They
so they came back.
survived and they came back to our factory, and we met each other. Others who failed, they stayed
Right.
in the field.
But as a sergeant, you now are basically in charge of almost a company of people, where you have that much responsibility,
Well,
and you're the one
yes,
negotiating on their behalf. So you talked to this colonel, and you returned to your group, and then what happened?
yes. I came back and I said that, guys, there is a chance to survive. That what I said. There is a chance to survive. Uh, if you someone who wants to survive, I will surround.
Hmm.
So firstly, approximately 40 guys said that we will not do this. We will fight, we
Hmm.
will die, but we will not give up. Uh, I said, yes, guys, I really respect you. This is your choice, and give us 30 minutes. We will go out, and then you do what you think is better for you. But probably in 5-10 minutes, this group of people came back because one of my support group, one of them was a guy from that part, and he told them what he has seen, and they changed their decision, and changed their mind, and they came back in probably 5-10 minutes and said that we'll go with you. And that was the finish. Because before that, I gave a radio station to this colonel and said that give me like 30 minutes. I will tell you our decision,
Okay.
and we will continue our cooperation. So I remember that time, 14:40 p.m. we came to the Russian forces, and we gave our AK-74 without any bullets, without anything. Before that, we broke all our cell phones. We broke all ammunition, archers, Harris, everything we could break.
Archer is a thermal optic, and Harris is a
Radio
U.S. made
station.
radio system.
Yes, we broke everything, all the machine guns, so everything what could be broken was broken. So that was the story.
And you angered the Russians when you broke all of your equipment, right?
Especially for Archer, I thought that this guy is gonna shoot our nails for that, because really like we were smoking, and he came back with the broken Archer, and he said, "Who did that?" And he was really angry because the Russians at least at that period of time, they didn't have such technique stuff, so that was a problem. But indeed, that inventor, well, we were inventor, they were inventor, and they were really glad that that was the end, that they don't have to assault our position, and they will be that they will survive this day 100%. That's why they were glad. They gave us cigarettes. We were speaking with them. I even there was a moment when I even started to argue with some of sober sergeant in some political team, but very quickly they mentioned me that like where I am, what is going on, and that I have to be more calm.
So you surrendered at the bridge, right? That was northwest, I think, of the Illich factory. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And then once you brought all about 90 Marines and Ukrainian soldiers with you.
Yes.
And then what happened from there?
Buses came. We got inside, and from this factory we came to Sartana. That was the first place we got there. The Sartana is a small village on the east side of Mariupol, and they gathered there all prisoners from Mariupol. That at that period of time, in that position, nobody touched us, like even a finger. But guys from Britain and USA, I think the one American guy was there also. They started beat them up already there. Well, that is like the position of Russians, as we say, everyone is equal, but even among the equal, there is someone who is the most equal. The same as here, Russians, they don't like anyone. They don't like any of their neighbor. But among all of them, there is someone whom they don't like mostly. That is Americans. Of course, Americans. And speaking about Americans, I'm not speaking about Mexicans. They don't care about Mexico. Most of them don't even know where is it. I'm speaking about United States, Canada, Britain. For them, that's all the same. They call all of you like Anglo-Saxons, and consider you like a natural enemy. That's why in the year 2024 they captured all Europeans on the battlefield. But when they got this Australian guy, they just shoot him immediately. They didn't even bring him to Russia because for them, all these English speakers, native English speakers, that they don't want to see them alive. Well, at least these troops, the Russian troops, for sure. And we considered in that opinion in captivity in prison.
So they took you to Sartana. This is still in Ukraine.
Yes, that is Donetsk region.
And you drove through the city, so you saw the city was entirely destroyed. Mariupol at this point.
Mariupol was destroyed completely, totally. There is a funny story. On the very beginning of March, first half of March, we got internet sometimes, and sometimes we got the news. My friend got the cell phone. He read the news, and he started to laugh. I said, like, what's going on? And he said, listen, news from Kharkiv. The situation is critical, the most critical in country. Russians attacked the city by air forces, bombed it 10 times a day. And we were laughing because Russians bombed Mariupol 10 times while he read this story. You know, they were bombing the city every 15, every 20 minutes. So, and that was during 1.5 months. Just try to guess what was with the city. That was destroyed completely.
Sure. So when you get to Sartana, you said that they didn't. There was no real abuse there except against the British and American
Yes,
Marines. These are British and Americans who joined the Ukrainian military and were serving before the war.
Yes, they were like usual professional soldiers. They got the contracts and they were serving. They served the same like me and others, no matter the nationality they got. They were trying to get the Ukrainian passport. Also, some of them. They just served in. The majority of them served in airborne company because the period they signed the contract, the commander of airborne company, he spoke English fluently, even better than me. So the majority of them were like airborne.
And then from Sartana, where did they take you?
To Olenivka. And that was the beginning of our harsh trip, because when we came to Olenivka, well, no, that was for us. That was we didn't know what is it, how is it to be a prisoner in your own country, not even in as a prisoner or military prisoner. So we didn't know any rules. We didn't know what will happen. We didn't know anything. So when we came to Olenivka, there was 830 soldiers, approximately. And when we came there, they started just to beat up us, all of us, each of us. So bus is coming to the entrance fee, and all soldiers had to go out one by one. There was a man. He had to check your documents, any documents you have. And he asked, like, who are you? You are troops, and you're
It's like your rank,
yes,
your position, and then what service
yes.
you're part of, right?
Yes. And so the higher position you got, the higher rank you got, the more beats you got. The worst was for the guys from National Guard. Everything what is connected with the national, in Russians' opinion, that is Nazism. So National Guard in Ukraine, that is Nazism. National Guard in Germany, that is Nazism. National Guard in the United States, that is Nazism. So everything what got the word national, that is, for them, that is awful. And guys from National Guard, they got really hard times, because I've seen, I got some friend, some of them was my friend, and I've seen what happened. Well, for example, if they beat me 4 times with the baton, police baton,
Hmm.
my back, and probably 5 times my legs. Well, for the guys from National Guard, that was much harder. They beat them up. Well, I don't know, but probably 10 minutes each of them with the dogs and etc. So
So you were when you come up the bus one by one, right? And then there's an officer there who asks your rank, what service you're part of, right? And then from there you go to the barracks. But before you get there, that's when the beatings occur,
yes,
right?
so that there was a yard uh, between the barracks, and there was a corridor made of guards.
Hmm.
And while you are going through this corridor, they are beating you with batons. Well, at that time, that was just batons,
Hmm.
and Olenivka was not so crucial as other places. So that was just a beginning,
Hmm.
and we didn't know what is going on. So we came there. They put us into the barrack, and there we got nothing. No water, no medicines. We got nothing.
Hmm.
We were waiting. They feed us 3 times a day. Well, breakfast was 300 milligrams of tea and piece of bread. Uh, the supper the same, and the meal was like tea, bread, piece of bread, and maybe 200 grams of
Porridge.
porridge,
Yeah.
yeah, different kind of. That's it.
Hmm.
So I spent there 4 days, and then we started to. They made us to fill some blanks, and I read that it was said like has to be shifted in Taganrog. Taganrog, that is Rostov region on Russian territory. We decided that it's gonna be an exchange through Russia, but that was a mistake. So
You thought that was going to happen.
yes,
You thought you were going to
yes, yes.
be
That's why I got the group of my friends from my uh, Marines. We were together in our position. Charlie.
mhm.
We were together in Sartana, in Olenivka. We tried to be together all the time, and together we just wrote all those blanks and went to Russian territory. That was on 19th of April, approximately 19th of April, 2022.
And you said when you got there, you had to take all your clothing off.
Yes, so we were totally naked. They checked everything. We couldn't have any metal, any sticks, anything with us, any fires, and so they just check out us. While that was going on, like they beat up all of us. Mostly they beat up guys from mortars, artillery divisions, tank operators, and something like that. So
It's snipers too. You said.
snipers, you'd better don't give up if you're a sniper. Our sniper from our battalion, they broke his fingers in Olenivka, but that was the last time I've seen him at all. So as I know, for snipers, that even worse for the infantry.
Okay, and you said some of the National Guard guys they beat them until they're unconscious, right? At this point.
Yeah, but still, these guys I know. My friend was with me till the very end.
And there's no water, there's no toilet,
Yeah.
right? You also mentioned when you were at the factory, because it was cool at times, some of the guys were wearing the factory uniforms, right?
Yes,
Because
that's true. Actually, yeah, because we came there on the first March. We were on fabric factory already, and because that was cold and we retreat, so we didn't have enough clothes. Some of us didn't have even military shoes, so we found some uniform on this factory that was quite warm, and we used it. And some guys gave up wearing this uniform, and when these guards in prison saw this civil uniform from this factory, they said that, like, these guys, that they stole it from people that probably they killed some civilians and took this uniform and came here.
Right.
So they were beaten up much more than others. So that was obviously ridiculous. The uniform was from the factory. There was thousands of such uniform, and when we came first March, the factory was closed already, and there was no any workers there, because everyone knew that the war began like 4 days before the war began, so everyone escaped. And well, yeah, but for them, that was just a reason to explain why are they doing this. Even ridiculous explanation was better than if you don't have it at all. So
And Olenivka, this is also where the Azov prisoners were killed
yes,
later, I think in June.
Olenivka, that is the prison. That is true. The prison where Azov soldiers were killed. Russians said that that was a HIMARS, what is also ridiculous. I've seen videos from Olenivka. I've seen these barracks, and I have witnesses, our Marines, who can tell that these guys from Azov, they were just fired in one of barrack by Russians, because Russians, they hate Azov.
Right.
They just hate it. They don't want. If you ask any Russian guard, he would say that they had to be just shoot and forget about the living, and that's all.
So, how long were you at Olenivka for?
4 days, I think.
Okay. So 4 days. At this time, mentally, what do you? So you at this point, it's been about 2 months since the war began. A month and a half was in Mariupol under constant bombardment, and then now you've spent 4 days in captivity. And you said at this point you still think you're going to be exchanged, right? You thought that
Yeah,
they'd be exchanged in the near
believe,
future.
everything was obvious in the next location we came. That was that was prison number 2, Ryazsk, Ryazan region. Actually,
Before you went to Taganrog first, right?
yeah, but we were there just we came there to the airport,
Right.
to the plane, and we came to Ryazsk by plane. So we came from Donetsk to Taganrog by buses. Then Russian Sober, I think that was Sober, or Amon, that is police SWAT in Russian Federation.
Yeah. So Sober is SWAT team. Oman is kind of like riot police who also do guard duty.
Yeah. Also, they got the military police. That's not special force. That's just militaries, but they work with us also. So this Russian Sober, they got us. They closed our eyes by scotch, and that scotch
Like tape or
yes, and they put us to this plane. Well, yeah, there was some funny stories. We hope that's gonna be exchanged, that we are flying home. But when one of us, one prisoner, asked this sober guy to give him a cigarette, that sober guy said, like, "What did you say? Are you crazy? You don't understand where are you?" And he beat him up, and well, I understood that this not is exchange for sure. That we're going somewhere further, and we came to Ryazsk. I don't know where is this airport, because our eyes were closed. They put us to this special trucks for prisoners.
Right.
Each country got such trucks, so we were in these trucks.
The Avtozak.
Yeah,
Yep.
it calls Avtazak. We were going to the prison. We were going so long, and at that time, I remember I was scared so much because I just then I realized that I am here in Russian territory, the biggest country in the world. I'm in Russia. They are leading me somewhere. No one, just God knows where I am right now. And a couple days before, I was shooting these Russians. I was fighting with them, and
Right.
this is Russia. This is not Canada. You know, there's little bit difference, and because Russians are crucial, and I was understood that the situation is not just horrible, that is something unbelievable. And I don't know why I mentioned the film with Mel Gibson, this shooter.
Lethal Weapon.
Yes, there was an episode when some criminals got him, prisoned him, and they were beating up him, just giving some questions to him, and they beat up him with the shocker as well. I don't know why I mentioned this film. I don't know why, but the captivity was exactly like that. That was truly like like in that film, or partially. So yeah, we came to Ryazsk.
And so Uralsk is in Ryazan region of Russia.
Yeah.
So you flew there on Il-76 aircraft, most likely.
Yeah.
And then you've been told nothing at this point, right? So you know you're in Russia, but no one has
Yeah,
told you anything.
No one. Since that time, they did not say any kind of information, because we didn't have a right to have any information. We didn't know where are we. We didn't know the location. We didn't have to know even the date, even a time of day. So nothing.
Okay.
They tried to do this, but of course, you know, we got thousands and thousands of prisoners. So someone heard something from that place, someone heard something from another place, from another guy, and we got some information. So yeah, we came to this Ryazsk, and the thing is about this Russian prison. What you have to know: each time you change the prison, you change the location, you come from another prison to another, they organize that the prison guards organize some kind of meeting for you to make you understand where are you, who is the chief here, and that was pretty in Ryazsk, yeah, that was pretty strong. So
Because you had that in Olenivka. You got off the bus, and then before you get to the barracks, the guards, you walk kind of through a gauntlet of guards, they hit you with batons. And then this happened again this time.
yes, but more crucial, because as I said, Russians are crucial. That is the thing you have to
Cruel.
Cruel. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, cruel. They are cruel. That's type of nature. I don't know how to say this. That in the situation, for example, British or Japan guy will not do not anything with you. The Russian soldier, he will beat you. So when we came to this prison, well, first they made us pray, and then that Russian guards, they took each of us one by one to some place we didn't know. We just heard some screams, and that's it. That's all. What you just hear the screams all the time.
And when you're in the drive there in the Avtazak in the prison vehicle, you have your individual kind of container, right?
Yeah.
So it's like solitary confinement almost. It's like a 3-4 hour drive to the prison. You're not told anything. You get off.
Nothing.
You get off the
Closed
bus.
eyes. They opened my eyes just inside some room. So from the very beginning, I didn't know even what is this place. I discovered that this is the prison in Ryazsk much later.
So when you get off the bus, if you describe it to us, so you're blindfolded, right? And then you're made to bend over the entire time, right? So you're walking with your hands behind your back. You're bent over. Is that
Your
right?
hands are in front of you. It's
Zip tie on it. So
tie.
yeah, they're
Yeah, you
bound.
got this zip tie. Your eyes are closed. Just two guards. They take you and lead you inside. Then they put you on the knees, take off this all this
Zip
stuff.
tie.
Yeah, and they just make you. You are standing on your knees. They put your head on the floor so you can touch it, and you just hear all these screams that someone is beaten up, and they different. You know, you hear these different commands. They're crazy about this national Russian songs. Katyusha, Девочка Смуглянка. They made you to sing this. They can make you sing Russian nation song, and etc. So that you are doing this till the time another guards take you and lead to some other place. They lead me to the second, no, to the that was the first floor. They just bring me out from the room to the corridor, made me take off all the clothes, so I was naked. After that, what is going on further? First of all, they lead you to the cabinet with the doctor. The doctor has to check out your health. It's just she's making a view, like she look at you, and if she see that you got some broken bones or something else, she say like she make a movement that don't touch him.
Okay.
But if you are okay, if you look okay, then she's make a sign that you can work.
Okay.
Then they bring you to another cabinet. They lead me to the cabinet with the documents. And what you have to know, that since that time we stand and we walk self-bent. All 2.5 years self-bent.
You're bent over, basically.
Yep. So I came there. Because you are self-bent, you don't again you don't see anything. They you have to like to walk with the closed eyes. That is the order of guards. You can't look at their faces. You can't watch their eyes. That is denied.
Right.
So I came inside the room, and I've seen the table with the documents. There was like passports and military passports, IDs, all of these, credit cards, and some men in blue uniform. That was, they are well known as FSIN. That is Federal Institution of Prison. Right,
Yeah,
yes.
exactly. Yeah.
They got the blue uniform, and military and police squad, they got the black uniform, or something like multicam. The guy, the guard who was leading me, who was with me, he got the black uniform, so I think he was from Sober or something like that, or maybe military police. And so that the guy inside the room, he asked me, "Do you see any of your documents?" And I got just military passport with me, just to so I would have official document which represents me, who I am. And I said, yes, I can see. And he said, he asked my rank. I said, sergeant. And the guard said, he asked me, like, you're a sergeant, are you a squad leader? I said, yes. He said, did you shoot in our troops? Well, at that time, I was still, I didn't understand what is going on. And I was a little bit more brave than further. So I said that I was fighting with your soldiers, like as usual, because I'm squad leader of Marines.
You give an honest answer.
Yes, yeah. It's obviously I did.
Sure.
And he said like, "You're done." Well, that was not so polite as I said right now, of course, in Russian language that sounds in another way. And he lead me further from the cabinet to the corridor, but I didn't see anything. And then he stopped, turned me on the right side, and then I heard that, "Hey guys, this one shoot our guys, our troops." And I thought, like, what kind of guys? I put my head up, and I've seen the corridor with this special force, approximately 10 soldiers, and I am alone, and they all of them are watching me, and I was like, God. And he led me through this corridor. They beat me up, well, my head, my legs, everywhere they could. He put me on the chair in some room, and there were Russian prisoners. They were making a job in this prison, and the prisoner tried to shave me with the shaving machine, like to make me bald.
Yeah.
But while he was doing this, these guards, they were beating my face, so he couldn't do it properly. At the same time, he had to shave me, and the special force, they wanted to beat me up, and they wanted more, so they make him wait to go out from the room. They put me up and started to beat me. I made some block, and they didn't like that. They said, "Stand still, put your arms down." I did it, and they just started to beat my face, beat my head, beat my liver, and
This is with like a baton, right? Police
no,
baton?
at that time, no baton. They just, that was the very beginning. You know, when they are tired,
Right.
yes, they started to use the baton. But at that time, they just made it because, you know, this special force, all of them are sportsmen. So
They're punching you with their fists.
yeah. So they just having fun with that. Then they put me to another cabinet. There was some, I think, that detective. He started to make questions.
Like an interrogator.
Interrogator, yeah. With the balaclava, of course, because all of them were with the balaclava. So he started to ask me questions, fast questions, like my rank, my my second name, my military name, and my position. He showed me the map, asked me a couple of questions. I showed him, and he understood. I think he understood that I know the map, that I can. I can like understand, explain something on the map. That is pretty important to know the map. And he made some plus, and all the time I was answering his questions, and at this time guards were beating me. There was blood everywhere, and then he showed the guards that that's it. You can take him. He led me to the corridor to continue all this game, and at that time another guard, I think that was an officer, he took me and said that that's enough for him, and he leads me to my room, and he said that, you know what, like, that is indeed, that is good that you said that you should.
That you shot at Russians, that you were honest about this.
Yes, that you were honest. And that is the thing is, which you have to understand, in prison, in Russian captivity, you may say lie, but if they will discover at least once, then they will speak, yeah, they are cruel, but that would be much worse after that. So in case you can say truth, at least about yourself, so that is truth, your truth about yourself, not someone else, but about yourself.
About what you did, and just to be honesty was the best.
You'd
option
better to be honest, because indeed they respect honest. So, and they disrespect lies. So be honest. If they want you to sign some document, you will sign. If they want you to tell the truth about yourself,
Mm-hmm.
you will tell the truth. The question is the time and the amount of punches you will get.
But at some point you'll break and you'll just do whatever they want.
They will break you anyway. That don't even dream that I you know the experience is that they will do everything you need they need from you, and you have there no chance,
Right.
because this is the story of all this empire. Is It was built on the prison.
Mm.
We were, I will tell further, in Mordovia we were in prison which were built in ancient times for the foreign prisoners in a very small village. The village was approximately 5,000 people, and there were two prisons
Mm-hmm.
in that village. And just try to guess what were doing all these people who lived there. They worked in these prisons. Their fathers worked in this prison, grandfathers, and that since the Yekaterina they were there.
You're right.
So they know what to do. They are the best in this. The story of these jails is even longer than the story of United States. So just try to guess. They will make you to sign any document they want. That's just a technical question.
So they take you to a room, right? And that's the room you were staying the rest of your time at this prison, right? And it was you
Yeah.
and six other POWs with you, right?
Yeah, in my first room there was six prisoners, and that was 20th of April, I suppose. We didn't know where are we. We didn't understand anything. I just saw a window with this iron.
Iron bars, yeah.
Yeah, and we didn't even know that that is a prison, because we are we are military prisoners. What are we doing in the civil prison?
Right.
But next day, when it started, next day we understood what's going on, and I understood why soldiers from Mariupol don't go anywhere. We heard from the very morning, like at 9 or 10 a.m., they started to come inside to come to the rooms. They just named one surname and put that man somewhere else. No one knows. And we started to hear the screams. And then we got that, some guys said that some guy in my room, he said that, don't worry guys, in 1 month we will be at home. And I said, like, which month? Are you kidding? You don't understand what is going on? In Mariupol were killed 10,000 people.
Right.
They were killed. By whom? And he said, well, what do you mean by whom? Like, by Russian Air Force. Didn't you see it? They were bombing this city 1.5 months. I said, yes, of course. You will go to that room, to the interrogators. You will say the same things, and we will see what is going on, what will happen to you next. And that was the truth. So all the interrogation, we were there 10 months in Ryazsk. All the interrogation was about criminal orders of our command, and all the military criminals. What
They were asking you because they
Yeah.
assumed you had received criminal orders,
exactly,
and
yeah.
they assumed that basically there was a lot of kind of criminal actions occurring, and they wanted you to kind of confirm what they felt was
exactly.
true.
But again, you have to understand how it is going on. You come inside to the room. There is an interrogator, one, and there is one or two guys from Sober. What are they doing there? They are with the batons, they are with the shockers, and etc. And the interrogator he asks you, like, have you ever heard a command to kill some civilian? Of course, no, because in this factory there were no even civilians. Like, that is ridiculous.
Right.
What do they do there 1.5 months in the biggest in a factory? Like the city, you don't have any food there, you don't have any water there, you don't have anything there. What are you going to do there? So Of course not. And after that, you got this sober works. They start beating you up with shocker and etc. And
It's like they've it's like a taser, but they also have a baton that has a taser at the end of
yes,
the
yes, they
baton.
got different. Cause look, they got the special ammunition,
Right.
and ammunition they bought because this is a governmental ammunition. If you break it,
Hmm.
you have to write an
Right. Right.
explanations and
Right. Right.
work with plenty of papers. Why do you need this if you can just buy for yourself and use it how you like?
Hmm.
So yeah, so from the very beginning that was like that. But then further, when they got, for example, they were making research and they choose some people. I think that what was probably a third part of all prisoners whom they truly torture. That was something like special. If they want you to sign some document or
Hmm.
to tell something they want to hear, so they bring you to the room and you sit down. They
Zip tie.
zip
Yeah,
tie
bound
your
your hands.
zip tie your hands and zip tie your legs, and then you see the table. On the table there are needles. That's for your nails.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got shocker, the hand shocker, and the
Like a taser, I guess we
grid
call it. Yeah.
taser. Yeah, and then that's some kind of special shocker that is a box.
Mm.
You can control this the
The
power.
voltage. Yeah.
They put some links to your ears.
It's. I mean, we would call it electrocution. So they're
Yeah,
electrocuting you.
something like that. Then you got a police baton, but also you got some kind of plastic baton that's all the same. Like you can buy it in some building shop.
Mm.
Uh, very very strong thing if you want to make harm to someone.
It's like, and he explained to me before. It's like a plastic like tube
White
where.
plastic tube with probably 5 millimeters, I
Right.
think.
So not that large, but
Yeah.
when they slap you, hit you with it, it would like have a burning sensation,
Yes,
right?
that's true. Look, baton, police baton is fat. I don't
Right.
know.
Right. Right. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah. So when they beat you, yeah, probably they can break some of your bone, but it's not so painful if it's plastic tube because plastic tube is thin. So the power on your body
Mm.
is much higher than
Mm.
if it would be a police baton.
Yeah.
Firstly, and secondly, because of plastic, that makes you to feel a fire pain, something like that. Especially if you don't have any clothes on
Right.
yourself. So if it's just your skin, that's horrible. That's awful. And
And it's also, you mentioned before that they don't want to break people's bones. They're not trying to,
yes,
because
yes, of
obviously
course.
they don't want to actually create permanent injuries.
They
But
don't want to work with you to bring some doctors to you because that's gonna be a trouble. That's why they try to kick your arms and kick your legs mostly because bones are pretty strong and but painful
well,
is
there's a
more.
lot of flesh in your leg. That's why
Yes, yes.
you can beat it
The
a lot
worst.
without breaking.
That is yeah. They are beating this part of leg. Uh, tens times they just got one place and they start beat you up like tens
Same
times.
ply over time.
Yes, and that is horrible because well, just try to imagine today you got an interrogation, you got 30 punches on your leg.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow you got to the same interrogation and your leg it looks like
Sure.
as if it's broken,
Right.
but it's not, and they
Right.
start to do the same and you got 3 4 days like that's horrible pain. I didn't know. Well, I read about Roman legion in ancient times. They got this penalty. The worst penalty is called determination,
Decimation.
decimation. That was the way the Roman legionnaires were killed by the sticks.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, why the sticks? Like, why not knives? Like, there is not a lot of blood. just a stick. But after the prison, Russian prison, I understand that the stick is the worst. So
So I mean, so when they bring you into interrogation, right? So first off, you never know how long it's going to last, right? How long does this typically last?
yes, that well, it depends. If they try to well, if they want something specific from you, they can work with you 3 hours, no problem.
So 3 hours, in which the guys the entire time are basically either beating you with batons with these kind of plastic tubes, electrocuting you, right, in the head, other parts of your body.
Yeah.
Um,
Then you got
you said they also put needles under your
yes,
fingernails.
yes, and that is the latest version. That is the from the very beginning. Like, well, that's not so comparison to other stuff. That's nothing.
So what was the worst?
Stick.
The plastic, the plastic things. Okay.
Yes, the plastics and shocker. Well, for me, shocker. But I think probably. Well, I know plenty of guys, our prisoners, they were okay with the shocker. Uh, they for them that was like normal. They got used. But for me, I don't know why. Maybe that's because of psychology. But I hate this show.
But I mean, it's attached to your head, right? So they're electrocuting you from up here. Is that right?
No, basically, that is because they were beating up us every day in Mordovia, and the shocker was every day,
Right.
and they didn't beat you at that time period of time. They didn't beat your head, your ears. No, they were beating up.
But you said during interrogation they would put things on your
Yes.
head, and so there'd be electrocution that way
Yes,
too.
but that was, as I said, not to everyone.
Right,
That
okay.
was to the special continent.
Okay.
So guys from National Guard, snipers, etc.,
Okay.
artilleries, mortars.
So I mean, you weren't getting it as bad as these other guys. So
No,
other guys
no.
are getting it worse too.
I was lucky, as I said. I got my team. We were together till the end, and we got to this prison together. So when they were asking me some questions, and I was like, I respond, and the last question, who was with you at that time, and who can confirm your words? And I said like, well, 5 guys here in the neighbor rooms. You can ask them. So
I mean, so how critical was that for you, just surviving this entire ordeal? You had the guys you've been with the entire time, you knew well, and so on.
Ryazk was a scout camp according to Mordva. So that was pretty,
the next place
yes.
you were sent to.
Ryazk was pretty normal, that was not so bad. And
Well, I mean, as you were saying, basically, you thought when you're in Mariupol during the battle, you thought that was the worst thing possible, and then every
captivity is 10 times worse than Mariupol.
Right. So when you're getting bombed every day by 3 Russian regiments, area regiments, artillery, everything, that any day in captivity is worse than that.
I would say that that is 2 different things. You got 2 different type of fears. You can feel this the difference. So when in Mariupol they tried to kill us, then when tank attacks you or air force, and you feel this kind of afraid that your organism tries to explain you that you have to survive, that you have to escape somewhere, and you can make some movements, you can shift yourself somewhere, you can make some decision. So you are still, even then, you are free.
Right.
But you are scared, yes, because you can die. Of course, that's normal for people to scare for their lives. But in captivity, that's totally different. You know that you won't die. They will not let you to die. But the way of life is such that you'd better to die. Something like that. Right. Today I can say that yes, thanks God I survived. Everything is perfect for me. But in captivity, every day I thought like, why I didn't shoot myself. That was like that. So every day, well, first, again, in Ryazk, for me, that was normal. Well,
Well, it became comparatively normal compared because
Yes,
it
yes,
got much worse.
exactly. So yeah, because at that time they didn't beat us up just for fun. Well, in autumn and winter, the year 2022, they started to do this. This Russian guards. Uh, they how many? Well, maybe 3 4 times they uh, beat me up just for fun, and that was pretty much cruel. Uh, your legs are becomes
Hmm.
2 3 times bigger, and you got this. You can see the blood under your skin.
Right, right.
It's yeah. It's not like that. Is not the kind of fight in somewhere in a bar
Hmm.
with another guy. You cannot protect yourself. You cannot even block this kicks. You have just to stand and to wait when they will stop it. And moreover, your eyes are closed. So because this is the command,
So you don't see the strikes
you don't
coming. You just
see. Yes.
have no clue.
So if one of them will try to to punch your liver, there's gonna be even he may
You
be.
can't protect
Yeah,
against
you
it.
can protect, and you can feel as if Mike Tyson did it,
Right.
because you didn't see, you didn't expect, and you don't need a much in your body to make you suffer.
Mhm.
That's like this.
Um, so could you? What was a normal day like in Ryazsk?
In Ryask,
Like
yeah,
from morning to evening.
at 6 a.m. You have to wake up.
Hmm.
You have to clean your room to prepare your bed. Then at, you got the breakfast, tea, piece of bread, Porsche. Then you got this morning check, like from 8 to 10 a.m. in
Hmm.
Rashk, approximately. They were checking all the rooms.
So the guards come into the rooms.
Yeah, exactly. And
What did they do during this time?
they were just checking the room. They were checking, don't we have any iron?
Okay, weapons or anything like that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, or
Just
something.
basic prison
Yeah,
guard
yeah.
kind of behavior.
And sometimes if someone was breaking the rules,
Hmm.
they could beat up the room because of it.
Hmm.
Then, but that was like occasional.
Hmm.
It's not every time, every day. Then they got after this checking up, uh, they started to work interrogators since 11 to 5 or 6 p.m. And during this time you got dinner from 12 to 1 p.m.
Lunch.
Lunch, yes, lunch. You got on this lunch you got some soup, borscht, and tea with bread.
Hmm.
Not a lot, so just like soup, 300 millimeters. Well, of course, water
Right, right,
with
right.
the potatoes. Uh, 200 150 millimeters
Hmm.
milligrams of borscht, and 250 milligrams of tea. That's in average. But the thing is that when the Russian prisoner start to give you food,
Hmm.
he's coming to the corridor. You got, for example, like 10 rooms there, and you got 6 8 people, prisoners in each room.
Hmm.
So I don't know what is the reason. Probably they can't count, or they don't know what is this math, but they couldn't count how many milligrams do you need in average for each plate.
Right.
So first room got approximately 100 milligrams of borscht
Hmm.
and soup, and the last room got half a liter, you know.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
So that's like that. That is why we got some Ukrainian prisoners who are coming back from Russia, and they look like as if they are already dead. You can't even
Incredibly
understand.
skinny
Yeah,
because
so
they've
skinny,
emaciated basically.
like in fascist like Nazis did this the same 70 years ago. That is the reason. So, and yes, interrogations.
But the interrogation should be one person at a time, right?
Yeah,
So
there was 4 floors. On each floor, we got one. We called it quest room.
okay.
So the room for the interrogations, and so they were working like there was 4 interrogators working together.
And how many prisoners were there per floor?
I know that in whole there was approximately 220, 230 prisoners
Okay. In 4 floors,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay. So probably 60, 70, something like that.
In
And so,
average, yeah, something like that.
and your room was right next to the interrogation room, right?
Yes, I've been in the room number 19, and it was the next room after the interrogator room, and that was the period, the end of spring and start of summer. It was hot, and the windows were opened, and we heard everything, like from the very morning to the very end of day. We heard every day during 3-4 months. We heard the screams, and now every time, because every time the door was opening in our room, I I thought that I'm gonna die immediately just because of this.
Because they might take you to the
Yes,
room.
yes. We didn't know what do they want, and that was so scary. Just because of you don't know what is going on, what will happen to you.
And it could just be a regular check, but you don't know if they're pulling you out, you're going to be tortured or not.
Yes, sure. I remember one situation, funny situation. The, the interrogators were working, and windows were opened, of course, and we've seen outside some granny was going with her granddaughter. She took her from school, probably. I don't know. The girl was 8 years old, and they heard these screams. The grandma stopped, looked at the prison, and she said they could at least close the windows, turned around, and went on like this. So I think the whole city heard, and the whole city knew what's going on. That they got Ukrainian prisoners there.
I mean, because these towns, it's the prison is the main kind of job thing for
No,
many
I
of these
would.
towns.
I think that Ryask is not a village. That is a city,
Okay.
small city, but a city, and I think they have something more.
But in Mordovia,
In
that was
Mordovia,
where
exactly.
it's
That
based,
was
the town is the prison.
the only thing you can make, or land worker, farmer, or work in prison. That's it.
And going back to the questioning, so the Russians, they're asking what a few different priorities, right? In these interrogations. One was about what kind of criminal orders have you done. What else they were asking about? What kind of organizations were you part of?
There was a lot of interrogator were from different organizations. There was military interrogators. There was scout interrogations, FSB, plenty of times. And I remember there was some, I think, interrogator from GRU, that's military recon
Intelligence, yeah.
yeah. So they were interested in all our contacts with NATO and USA Army. So all military studies. If we got some relatives in Europe or USA, if we got some friends in NATO armies, in USA Army, if we got any type of contacts, they were asking us about our political attitude to Russia and USA. Especially, they were interested in. I think they didn't know so much about United States, but I think that they have some trigger for American Democracy Party. Something tells me.
Democratic,
yeah,
okay.
because this for them, they know that Russia is authority state.
Right.
There is no democracy in Russia. They know this, and for them that is okay. and they that
So you think that they had an issue with the Democratic Party of the U.S. because they assumed democratic meant democracy, and they associated those two things.
I think the way Americans would like to see democracy in the whole world, the
Mhm.
same way Russians would like to see authority regimes in the whole world,
Okay.
and that is not just Putin's opinion. That is opinion even the last this the lowest soldier in
Mhm.
Russian army. They are fighting for this.
Um, and you were saying also that they checked you for tattoos, right?
Yeah.
They you told me that you had deleted your social media before the war, right? So there was no online presence for you.
Yes, because they were checking out all your social media. You have to write on the paper your Instagram, your Facebook, your any other type of website.
Mhm.
But just because I don't know why I deleted everything and I got just Instagram website with the name Shrek and no photos of
Mhm.
mine. So I was totally non-social person during that period of time. But guys who got, for example, some Ukrainian national flags on their websites, or if you got this American flag,
Mhm.
that's like you're an enemy of government
Mhm.
like immediately
Mhm. Yeah.
from since this time. And this is the way they made they choose these victims.
Mhm.
They have to make a statistic that, for example, 30% of Mariupol soldiers, Ukrainian soldiers, are criminals and
Mhm.
terrorists. They need to make such kind of statistics.
Okay.
So how should they choose these victims?
They
Well,
have a quota, and they've got to basically, yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. They will see if you got some tattoos, if you got some uh, websites, and that is obvious that you are pro-Western,
Mhm.
pro-democracy person. They will make you a victim. They will
Mhm.
make you to sign documents that you did something,
Mhm.
just because you see that you are their enemy, and they will make you. They will get some profit from you, just
And
because
you
of
also
that.
told me before that the interrogators believe that you guys were committing war crimes. So you were killing civilians. You.
Firstly, yes, that is something unbelievable. Well, when we came, firstly, they truly believed that we were. Some of them said us that we were eating children, even
Mhm.
though that we were drinking blood. Like I don't know, they were so crazy that they were truly like ridiculous in that
Mhm.
way of thinking. We didn't understand how can they believe in this. That is enormous, even to think about it. But they truly think that it is truth.
Do you think that contributed why they treated you so cruelly? Is that they actually believe the propaganda that
Just
you were doing?
this is the thing of propaganda. So that yes, propaganda that's nuclear weapon of 21st century.
Hmm.
All this war is about propaganda. They made by this propaganda, they made Russians to believe that Ukraine is, I don't know what could they say, that we want to we want NATO or what else. They you know they got non-governmental interviewers and social media
Hmm.
people who tells another kind of story. They tell something even more. For example, Putin can say in official media that Ukraine is enemy of Russia because Ukraine tries to go to NATO and we are fighting with NATO.
Hmm.
And someone else who is, for example, some YouTube podcaster who got 2 million followers in Russia, he says something more. He says that Ukrainians tried to create a nuclear weapon to destroy Russia, what
Right.
is false, of course, because, well, we got 10 years of this war. If we would like to make a weapon, nuclear weapon, since 2014, we would got this weapon
Hmm.
already. That is obvious. Like, what we don't have it. Why? Because we don't do this. But
Right.
they truly believe that that is so.
Mm.
And now It's just for example. I can put such examples like tens for you if you want, if you like.
And you also say during interrogations they also use plastic bags, right?
Yes, that was something. Well, for people who got this, who afraid the small rooms, small elevators. This is
Claustrophobia. It means
yeah, exactly.
being
Yes,
concerned
yes,
of confining
yes.
places.
If you got this claustrophobia, well, I know my friend, one of my friend, he got this kind of torture, and he got claustrophobia, and he is crazy about it.
So what did they do to him?
They just tied his hands, legs, and put this back on his head, and he couldn't breathe. And just because of it, that works more on your brain than on your body. But that is even worse. So he's just he's almost crying when he hear the plastic bag, because that is really hard for such people to survive this just because of this claustrophobia.
I mean, so in the interrogation, you were saying they would beat you with the kind of plastic tubes, batons. They'd use the needles under your fingernails, the tasers, both like up on your head, also just on your body, and then they'd also kind of use plastic bags so you couldn't breathe. And then you also mentioned they would bring a water bottle too.
Yes.
And what was that for?
Two ways of using it. First of all, if you lose concussion from the pain,
Consciousness.
Consciousness, if you lose consciousness or because of pain, they will take you back into this world with this water because it's cold. Because
That's how they
ice.
wake you back up
Yeah,
again.
yeah. And the second time, well, that's another kind of torture. They put you on the floor. They put some sweater on your face.
Oh, and they put water. So they
put
waterboard you then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. I know one officer from our airborne company who survived this kind of torture, and that was, everything of it. That is easy to speak about it when you, after all, but that is so hard to feel this when it's going on with you. That is, well, truly, needles under the nails, that your nails, that is not so horrible as this water, this shockers, electricity, and these batons. So just try to imagine how painful is that, how harmful for your psychological for your psycho is it.
Sure.
So
Did they waterboard you, or is that just other people?
again, to the officers.
Okay, because the officers got it worse.
Yes,
than the enlisted.
that was FSB who did this.
Okay.
With our officers in major cases. So that was Ryazsk. But as I said, Ryazsk was a scout camp comparison to Mordva.
And so you were in Ryazsk from end of April until February 7, 2023.
Yes.
So 10 months basically.
Exactly.